Market declines just before you retire or early in your retirement can really screw up your retirement income strategy. If you're in the middle of the expensive kid years, how do you avoid this sequence of returns risk when making your retirement plans? That's Jaclyn's question today on Your Money, Your Wealth podcast number 485. Plus, can Vern's wife collect Social Security at age 63, then switch to spousal benefits at age 70? Matt wants to know if 2026 catch-up Roth contributions will be subject to the Pro-Rata rule. And Tom and Amy are trying to figure out how to avoid Medicare's monthly income-related adjustment amount, or IRMAA, in their plan for Roth conversions. I'm producer Andy Last, and here are the hosts of Your Money, Your Wealth, Joe Anderson, CFP, and Big Al Clopine, CPA.
We got Hi Joe, Big Al, and Andy Last, but not least. Oh, that's kind of a little catchphrase nowadays.
Yeah.
Yep.
Andy, I'm giving myself the alias of Jaclyn Smith. Jaclyn Smith. All right, Jaclyn Smith, because I always wanted to be here when we were playing Charlie's Angels growing up. My drink of choice is Michelob Ultra. My husband's is a little Budweiser. He's a Budweiser drinker.
Yeah.
I tell myself that Mick Ultra is a drink of choice for athletic people to make me feel better when I'm about 6 to 12 deep on the weekend. Oh, Jaclyn.
Okay.
Oh, man, you're my cup of tea. My husband drives a 2020 ridiculously giant, manly Ford truck, and I drive a tiny, sporty 2021 BMW.
Right.
My husband's 55. I just turned 54. We have 3 kiddos, 2 in college, and 1 is an 8th grader. Like a certain YMYW host, I had the last baby a little later than most, and now will be a little geriatric mother at high school graduation.
Can you relate?
I can.
Tim?
Right there with you. This also means I am in the middle of a very expensive kid years while I'm also trying to spitball my retirement. I stupidly started all 3 in private school when they were young. Can't stop now. The good news is that college doesn't seem expensive at all when you've been cash flowing private elementary and high school tuition for years. Oldest I suppose.
Yeah.
Oldest graduate college next year, and all is paid for. We have about $120,000 and 529 plans for college for the 2 youngest. And we'll keep adding. Love your spitball to see if I'm on track to retire around 59 or 60 or sooner when that last kid is out of high school and heads off to college. We'll have some anomalies in our finances due to 2 items. 1, we are between homes. We sold our house of 15 plus years when we got stuck renting with a high interest rate and cost of building. All right, so they were building a new home?
Well, they sold their house, and I guess they bought, I think.
And we got stuck renting with high interest rates and cost of building.
So they put it on hold because they didn't want to pay the.
They sold their house at 15 years, and they were going to build a new one, so they got stuck.
Temporarily renting, and then they didn't really want to continue with the mortgage rates.
Understand. We are currently renting, pondering our next housing move. I have to come to love the lack of responsibility involved in renting. All right. So, no property tax.
Yeah.
No.
Don't have to call the landlord if something breaks.
Fix this.
Yeah.
Got it. Number 2, my husband has always been a small business owner. We sold a previous business about 5 years ago. It was doing okay for 20 plus years, and then due to some government regulations on immigration, turned the financial south and sold the business to get from underneath it. We started another new business that was sporadic, really good profit. And so for our purposes, I'm planning to having this income as pure extra. Travel in toy gravy. All right. Well, travel in toy gravy.
Okay.
And not modeled in this below. All right. Okay. So here we go.
Okay. So that's just so his income's just extra.
Got it.
I don't know what toy gravy is, but
I mean, it's just gravy.
It's gravy, specifically for travel and toys.
Yes.
Oh, travel and toy comic. Yeah. Okay. Now I get it. I thought toy gravy was a That's how I read that.
No, it's a cocktail.
I want to travel, and then I want some toy gravy.
Toy gravy's really good. You drink that, and it's like that peyote or whatever.
Peyote?
Peyote when you're in Brazil. When you smoke that.
Have you done that?
No, never. House renters for now. We do own a vacation lake home paid out for about 600,000. I know this is a depreciating asset and in the finance world frowned upon. But we also have about $450,000 in boats fully paid for. No, they like those toys.
Yeah, they do. That's the toy.
I love it. Own a
Toy
residential,
gravy.
yeah, toy gravy.
That's right.
Own a residential lot pending a possible build worth about $400,000, paid off $700,000 in a high yield savings account from the previous sale of the home. All right. So they got $90K in a brokerage account, $175 in a Roth, $40,000 in HSA, $30,000 in savings, $1.8 million in retirement accounts, and $145,000 in a deferred comp plan.
2.3 million if you're keeping track.
My pension, currently modeled, working till 60, then waiting and taking pension at age 65. He's got a couple options here. We can take a lump sum of $650,000 or $3,600 a month.
Yep.
Joint with 75% Spire. My Social Security is going to be about $4,800 or $5,000 monthly. Husband's Social Security, 67 is $2,500 a month. We also have about $100,000 in a SEP IRA. And when and if he retires, he would also like to have some equity in the business. Hopefully, we get a couple $100,000 back from that. My income is approximately $375,000. Good for you, man.
Yeah.
All right. Where's the meat here? How long is this thing?
It's
Jack?
long.
All right.
But at the bottom of this page, she starts asking the questions.
Okay.
Okay. So maxing out the 401k plan, Megatron backdoor of $36,000. Started that a couple years ago. Maxing out the HSA annual RSU grants of $80,000 to $100,000 per year based on results. Deferred comp adding $15,000 to $20,000 per year. 20% match of total company stock. So total retirement savings annually is $140,000 plus.
Yeah.
We'll keep up the above for 5 or 6 more years. Okay. Here are the questions.
Okay.
Thank you. Income in retirement, $150,000.
That's the goal.
All right. So they got how much?
Well, they got 2.3 million. But if you do a little math here, if you're saving 140,000 at 6% for the next 5 years, they'll end up with just under 4 million. So let's call it 4 mil.
Okay. And then that's at age 65?
That's at age 59, 59.60.
59.60. Okay. And so their fixed income is going to be pretty good because she's got the pension. She could take a lump sum or she could have,
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Yep.
So far, so good. This sounds really good.
Yeah, although the pension, she works to 60, but it doesn't start till 65.
Yeah.
So 5-year stub period.
All right. Keep funding brokerage. All right. So here are some options to ponder.
Okay.
All right. Let's ponder.
Yeah.
Keep funding the brokerage next 5 to 6 years, which should get balanced to hopefully forward to $500,000 by retirement. Okay. First 5 years of retirement. Use deferred comp, which is set payout for 5 years after retirement, hoping to get this to $250K prior to retiring, so the balance would generate $50,000 a year payout years 1 through 5.
Okay.
Withdraw from 401k to close to the remaining $100,000 gap, and then up to married finally jointly approximate tax rate of 22%, converting extra to Roth using brokerage to pay the taxes over that 5 years. Other option is converting to Roth to max at 22 and live out the brokerage as much as possible. Not sure if it's better to get higher dollars into the Roth or some into the Roth and live out the rest as a distribution. Okay, get there. And number 4, then at 65, pension kicks in, depending on interest rates, take the lump sum, depending on the interest rate or monthly payment. If lump sum, then add that to the rollover IRA and continue withdrawing from the 401k rollover IRA and still converting and living off of those dollars. Number 5, at 70, Social Security kicks in about $60,000 a year, so continue to use 401k IRA for the rest. Any other spitball factors or ideas? I think that I'm really struggling with the first 5 years. What is the best way to prepare for those years? What can I do to minimize the sequence of return risk? My thought was just to get those 1 to 5 years of expenses closely funded and then let the 401k IRA and Roth IRA grow as much as possible. Then pension kicks in as a kicker at 65. I know housing is a wild card. We may keep renting 5 or more years. then live in the lake house for a few years after retirement if we have not bought or built a primary home by that time. Or we could decide to pull the trigger and build and buy. Thanks for your spitball. Your favorite Charlie's Angel.
Yeah.
Man, that was a mouthful.
Yeah. So let me try to summarize here. So she's 54, husband's 55. She wants to work about 5 more years, give or take. Wants to retire around 59 or 60. They got 2.3 million right now. She's got a pension option at 65 of either a lump sum of 650,000 or $3,600 a month. She's saving a lot, 140,000 a year. If she continues that with what she has at a 6% rate of return, she ends up close to 4 million. Okay, so $4 million at age 60. You know, the fact that there's such good pension, I think you use a 4% distribution rate, even potentially higher, really. But 4% distribution rate on 4 million is 160. Retirement goal is 150. Now, of course, I'm not accounting for inflation on expenses, so maybe I'm a little short. But yeah, I think this looks fine. Even though there's a stub period here between 60 and 65, I think it works, and there's all kinds of options that she has in terms of how to fund that 5-year stub period.
Right.
And you know, any of these, I like the deferred comp idea because that's going to happen anyway. So in other words, you put the money in deferred comp and then it comes out over 5 years, and so that's actually perfect. That's 50 grand right there, right? And then as far as how you make up the rest of it, you could use the brokerage account and then try to do bigger Roth conversions. That's probably a good idea.
Here's my thought is that what Jaclyn needs to do is figure out what does that dollar figure need to be by the time she's 59 or whatever her retirement date is. Is it 59?
Yeah.
So 59, is it 4 million? Is it 4.5? Is it 3.5? And that's just by running the numbers. And
Yeah.
we're doing back of the envelope
Sure,
spitball here,
of
but
course.
we're pretty close. What number does that need to be at first? And then make sure that you're doing the appropriate savings and investing those dollars appropriate to get there and monitoring it, rebalance, manage the risk and everything else before you start worrying about the sequence of return risk on this stub period. Because don't focus too, or it's like, all right, well, here, I want to put all this in my deferred comp plan because that could get me 50. How about if it gives you 30? How about if it gives you 60, right? Is that going to blow up your overall strategy? I think she saves a ton. She's doing a really good job with how much money that they've accumulated now, but I think they're spenders as well.
Right.
But if they have a clear strategy and game plan, they'll probably hit it because they got $500,000 in boats. They got a summer home. They were like, all right, and then the husband's he's a small business guy. He's got his hands in this business, and that business blew up, but then this business is making some money. And hey, let's not count the cash flow of this business. So there's a lot of different moving parts from I think how they look at life.
Yeah, I agree. But if I take a step back from what you said, which is the number she gave us, assuming a 6% rate of return, they'll end up close to 4 million. Which I think will probably be enough based upon everything you told us. But in terms of when you make 375,000, and if you say you can spend 150, now I know you saved a lot, and I get that, but the fact that you've got the boat and you got the lake house.
But he sold some businesses, so he sold some business on some good side and on some bad, and they made good deals or bad deals.
Maybe.
So what I'm saying is that you want to be careful here. Find that number of whatever it is and then say, all right, well, here's what we're going to do and save to make sure that we hit the number that we're shooting for. And then start getting into specifics of, all right, how much money should be in a Roth IRA? How much money should be in deferred comp? How much money should be in the 401k? Because I think people get a little bit into the weeds here on some of this stuff versus saying, hey, if we have a certain dollar figure, but they still might buy a house. They might build a house. And all of a sudden, then they get into the weeds on that, and that could be a couple $1 million project.
Yeah, that's true. And the extra money they have for the house, I didn't count that, but maybe they get a better home than the 700,000. They got a mortgage, so then you got to factor all that in. Assuming that you get to.
Is it really better because it's more expensive, Al?
Maybe not. Let me rephrase that. A more expensive home.
There you go.
Yeah, better. Probably. But yeah, as far as sequence of returns, when you get there, I'm just going to take a leap. Joe wants you to do some calculations first. 5 years, 6 years, figure out what that spending need is. You have that in bonds or cash, right?
Yeah.
End of story.
Sure.
And then you don't worry about sequence of returns.
Right. That's where I was going with this, is once you have that dollar, and then you can start your figuring out what that allocation should look like as you're getting closer to that stump period.
Right.
To make sure that you have enough safety in the portfolio to give you the income that you need. And you don't have to worry about the market. If the market blows up, you have enough safe money to cover that stump period.
Right.
So, no, love the question. Great job. Yeah, there's a lot here.
There is.
And she spent some time on the planning, and she's probably got a couple spreadsheets, and she's
Right.
probably doing all of that. I think you're right there. You probably want to fine tune this just a little bit, but they're throwing a ton of money at it at this point, and I think as you get a little bit closer to retirement, then that's when you want to probably really nail down how all this comes into play, because.
But the savings is quite aggressive, and if you can maintain this with the numbers you gave us, you'll have a lot of resources, and there's a lot of possibilities. Put it that way.
Got a lot in common with Jaclyn here. She's 54 with an 8-year-old. I might be close to that age with an 8-year-old.
When it happens, yeah.
See if I can make it to 54.
Looking at the news, it's hard to tell if we're headed for a recession, in a recession, or if we're finally going to stick the soft landing and avoid a recession. Does the word recession make you want to run for the hills, or do you look for a golden opportunity? Defined as a fall in gross domestic product for 2 successive quarters, recession not only impacts prices and jobs. Taking the wrong actions during a recession can have a negative impact on your investment portfolio and take decades to recover from, maybe even delaying your ability to retire. Watch How to Build a Recession-Proof Portfolio on YMYW TV and download the companion guide for free. Learn the signs of a recession, how to position your portfolio accordingly, and how to be prepared to grow your wealth regardless of the economy and market conditions. Click the link in the description of today's episode wherever you get your podcasts to watch How to Build a Recession-Proof Portfolio on YMYW TV and to download the companion Recession Protection Guide, all free, all yours, courtesy of Your Money, Your Wealth.
We got Vern writes in from beautiful Portland, Oregon. Goes, hello, Joe and Big Al. Was really not that big. Wow. Shots fired. Al.
Not that big.
Jeez.
Well, I'll take that in terms of not being overweight.
Okay. I drive a 2022 Mercedes GLE, and a wife drives a 2022 Miata convertible. How does he know you're not that big?
TV show.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. My drink of choice is a Woodford Old Fashioned made with honey and not the simple syrup. Plus, I use 2
Luxardo cherries.
Luxardo cherries. Oh, Luxardo cherries.
Along with some cherry bitters.
Oh, man, that seems really cherry to me. The wife is a non-drinker, so I have a DD 22/7.
So in other words, she's a designated driver except for 2 hours a day.
So she can.
Right.
Here's my question. The wife and I are both 60. She mainly stayed home and raised 2 wonderful boys, or amazing boys, during our early years. And now she is a full-time grandma. I plan to take my Social Security at age 70, which will be $4,800 a month. My wife's Social Security is $920 at age 62 and $1,620 at age 70. If we have her start collecting $920 a month at age 62, can we switch her over to the spousal benefit at age 70 and have her receive $2,400 a month, which is half of mine? It seems too good to be true. I wanted your spitball on the top bit. Loving life in Portland, but not loving these taxes. Thanks for the spitball. All right, Vern. Yeah, it is too good to be true.
Yeah, that's not how you calculate it, unfortunately.
Yeah. The spousal benefit is based on your full retirement age, no matter when you claim your benefit.
Yeah, so that for you, Vern, will be age 67.
So whatever your benefit, let's say your benefit at 67, does he give it to us? I'm just going to say it's $3,000 a month. Your wife's spousal benefit is $1,500.
Yeah, so half of that, except
if she claims hers at 62.
Now she's got to get a haircut on that figure.
Yes, but they will true it up, but there's going to be a haircut. She's going to take the $920, and then the spousal benefit only kicks in once he starts claiming his benefit.
Right.
So if he waits to age 70, the spousal benefit is not going to come into play until he claims.
Right.
So she will get the spousal benefit, but it's not going to be half of his at age 70. It's not going to be half of his at age 67 because she's already claimed her benefit on her record at age 62.
Yeah. Now, if she waits to full retirement age, then she would get half of Vern's at his full retirement age at 67. So that is possible. But the fact that well, first of all, and I think that's a lot of people don't really understand that rule is based upon full retirement age, not age 70. So first of all, that's a lower figure. Secondly, if your spouse claims early, then there's going to be another haircut on top of that.
All right. Sorry, Vern, but I'm glad you're loving Portland.
Yeah.
Got Matt from Texas. He goes, I understand the 2026, the catch-up contributions of the 401k for people 50 years and older will be placed in a Roth IRA. Will these Roth contributions be subject to the pro-rata rule?
That's actually a true statement. So in 2026, I think this was Secure Act 2.0, if I'm not mistaken.
Who knows if they're
whether it'll stick or not.
right?
But here's the rule: is if your wages are higher than 145,000, so I'm assuming Matt yours are because you asked the question, then if you have the 401k, or I'm sorry, the catch-up contributions for a 401k, it will have to go in a Roth. That is the rule as it stands on the books right now.
All that means is that you can't get the tax deduction for the catch-up contribution.
Correct.
The money goes into the Roth, which is gross tax-free.
Isn't a bad thing.
It's a great thing.
In fact, we're trying to get people to do it more.
Yes. But he's subject to the pro-rata rule on distributions, or what's he thinking here? Is he thinking conversions?
Well, there's no pro-rata rule for the 401k.
I know. So here's what people get confused on when they try to do the backdoor Roth.
Yes.
And they have money in a 401k, and it's like, all right, well, is there a pro-rata rule because I have maybe pre-tax and after-tax? How does that all work? Matt, when you retire, move the money out of the 401k and move your Roth into a Roth IRA, move the pre-tax into your IRA.
Yeah, it's no more complicated than that. The complication is when you have an IRA with tax basis in it and you convert that, then you've got some basis, so some taxable and some non-taxable.
Well, I think there's also, if you have, let's say, after tax, you have Roth and you have pre-tax all in the same plan.
Yeah.
And let's say you keep it in the 401k plan. Some plans will take it out pro rata.
Yeah, if you do distributions. Well, that's a good point. That is a true statement.
So it depends on the plan doc of the retirement plan that you have, but the way around it is just to move it out.
Yeah, and most people do. Most people roll their 401k, and then the post-tax money in the Roth goes into the Roth, the pre-tax goes into the IRA, and then everything is how it's supposed to be.
Thanks, Matt.
Will the winner of the upcoming presidential election mean wins or losses in our investment portfolios? Do financial markets perform better under Republicans or Democrats? If the sensationalized political news has you fearing the worst for your nest egg, get the facts. Check out our new blog post that dives into the historical data to show how the stock market performed under different presidents and different political control. Find out how your portfolio would have fared had you only invested during red or blue times, and what you should be doing now. Also new on the blog, mutual funds, ETFs, and SMAs, they're all common investing vehicles, but what are the differences in benefits and which one best fits your needs? Find out in our new blog. Check the links in the description of today's episode wherever you get your podcasts to read both of these new blog posts. And if you find them interesting, hit the share button to spread the knowledge.
All right. Hi, guys. Really appreciate the show and valuable content. It's one of a kind and incredibly formative. Wow, one of a kind. That's very generous.
It probably is one of a kind.
My name's Tom. My wife is Amy. We retired to a lake country in northern Minnesota 2 years ago. I'm 55. My wife is 54. Drink of choice for me is a good IPA. Surly Ferocious.
Furious.
or Furious.
I like Ferocious.
That's a better name.
Surly Ferocious.
You should have been the marketing guy on that one.
Trademark. We're a little Grain Belt Premium. There it is. Grain Belt Premium.
Okay.
Yeah, I love that.
I don't know what kind of beer is that?
That's from Wisconsin, right, Joe?
No, Minnesota.
Oh, okay.
God's country beer.
Yeah, made with good grain.
Yeah, it is. It's so good. Wife's, let's see, consistent go-to is a Chardonnay, but we'll both drink cabs or red zins on occasion.
Okay.
We have 2 dogs, a yellow lab and a mini golden doodle. I drive a 19 Ford F-150, and she drives a 22 Honda Passport. Very popular cars here at YYW.
Yeah.
Ford F-150.
You see that a lot.
Tons. My question mostly revolved around a Roth conversion strategy. Oh my God, imagine that. We have roughly $6.8 million broken down. Jeez, look at the big bad wallet on Tom. Yeah, Amy, 54 years old, 6.8 million.
Not too shabby.
Yeah, living in northern Minnesota. This guy is like Prince.
He's living the
Prince
dream, right?
reincarnation right here. All right, we got pre-tax 1.8 million, Roth 250,000, taxable 4.7 million, HSA 60,000, Social Security projections about $60,000 annually, today's dollars. As mentioned, I retired a few years ago at age 53 and still have income rolling in from my previous employer, RSUs and consulting fees. As such, I cannot start converting my pre-tax income until my income drops. Income will be about $500,000 in 2024 and 2025, and then $225,000 in 2026. Wow, it makes a lot of cash rolling in too.
Right.
That helps. That helps when you want to pull punch the ticket at 52.
You know, you still got money coming in.
Yeah, of $500,000. I might be able to start a conversion in 2026 to the top of 24% tax bracket. I fully expect 2027, I'll be 59 that year, will be the year I can ramp things up. Obviously, tax brackets will probably look different. So the first question is, our current pre-tax account seems like a future tax bomb. Are you on board with my strategy to convert these dollars over before RMDs hit?
Let me see what you're going to say on that. I would say chairs and paper.
God. Are we on board? Come on. Invite me over to your house and let's have a grain belt. We'll run some numbers for you.
Well, so he's got 1.8 million in pre-tax. He's 55, so it's going to probably double twice. So call it almost 4, almost 8. So we call it 7 million. RMD on that would be 280,000.
He's got 2 million now.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's what I'm saying. Double twice.
Yep.
Between RMD age.
2, 4, 8.
Yeah.
That's going to be a big number.
Big number.
Second, hear a lot of talk about IRMAA. Don't worry about IRMAA, bro. Don't worry about IRMAA.
100% agree. It's not even worth mentioning. Especially when
you're 52 years old and you're worried about IRMAA.
I'm not going to do the conversion.
Looks so much different by the time you have to worry about IRMAA.
There probably won't be an IRMAA then.
There won't be an IRMAA. Yeah, IRMAA's dead. Should I concern myself about this? Given I will be converting into my 60s, and that will like me jump in. No wonder why this guy has so much money.
He's forward thinking.
Oh my God. Just relax. Enjoy your retirement. Oh my God.
But see, that's how his whole career was. You can't just shut that off, Joe.
I know. It seems to me I have bigger fish to fry than to worry about this. Yes, you do have bigger fish to fry than worry about this, but perhaps I'm missing something. You're not missing anything. The fact that you're thinking about it scares me. Finally, our current budget is around $225,000 to $250,000 a year, and we'll save around $100,000 for the next few years. What do you project our withdrawal amount per year in the next few years when income stops coming in that we'll need to live off of our nest egg? Really appreciate the spitball. He wants to know what the distribution rate's going to be?
Yeah, I think so. So I took his numbers, 6.8 million. I just said, all right, 2 more years at 6%, adding 100,000 a year. So that's 7.8 million. 3% distribution rate would be 234. So yeah, about 3%. Give
Plus
or take.
Tax.
Yeah, plus tax.
But he's got 4.7 in that brokerage account, so
yeah,
that's cap gains. That'll be cheaper.
Yeah, be cheaper. But yeah, this all looks good.
Yeah,
for sure.
$250,000 in northern Minnesota's living pretty large.
It's living large. Maybe a lot of travel. Maybe a lot of
I don't know.
Boats, toys,
could be
vacations, whatever.
Yeah,
okay.
I would be worrying about where.
Would you worry about IRMAA? Have you ever woke up in the middle of the night You know
Oh
what?
my God.
I got gosh, IRMAA. It's a lot to talk about.
It's in 17 years. And I know there's a 2-year look back. And I have $10 million in the bank right now, and I'm 52 years old. I'm worried that premium might go up on me.
I might have to pay
$100.
$73 more a month. What? Oh, honey, wake up.
I can't believe I gotta go back to work. God, this is crazy. That IRMAA premium's gonna kill me. All right, congratulations. Yes, Tom and Amy. Very good job.
Charlie's Angels, Jaclyn Smith and a hair model, Big Al Googling himself, and Lake Country, Minnesota in the Derails at the end of the episode, so stick around. Joe and Big Al are now both officially on vacation, so for the next few Tuesdays in your podcast app, listen for YMYW Extra. Bonus episodes with me and some of the experienced professionals on Joe and Big Al's team at Pure Financial Advisors. Watch the bonus video Spitballs on YouTube, and tell us what you think in the newly opened YouTube comments. YMYW is your podcast. If you enjoy the show, tell your friends and leave your honest reviews and ratings for Your Money, Your Wealth in Apple Podcasts and anywhere else that'll take them. Your Money, Your Wealth is presented by Pure Financial Advisors. To schedule a free financial assessment with one of the experienced professionals on Joe and Big Al's team at Pure, click the free financial assessment link in the description of today's episode wherever you get your podcasts, or call 888-994-6257. You can meet in person or online via Zoom, and the Pure team will help you find your path to retirement. Pure Financial Advisors is a registered investment advisor. This show does not intend to provide personalized investment advice through this podcast and does not represent that the securities or services discussed are suitable for any investor. As rules and regulations change, podcast content may become outdated. Investors are advised not to rely on any information contained in the podcast in the process of making a full and informed investment decision.
You remember her?
Jaclyn Smith?
Yeah.
No.
Charlie's Angels.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Which one? The one with
She's the brunette.
Cameron Diaz?
No, this is
Mr. Barrymore.
This is the original.
No, that's way before my time.
Way back when.
Yeah. I mean, even the Charlie's Angels with Cameron Diaz and...
Oh, yeah.
That was...
Drew Barrymore.
Yeah, ages ago.
Yeah. There's Jaclyn.
This is who we're talking about.
Oh, yeah. Very beautiful.
Yeah. No, beautiful lady, for sure.
Yes. Wow, she's got beautiful secrets. Who's she married to?
Oh, there's the original. Charlie
Yeah.
Angels.
Yeah. Well,
There you go.
Who's the guy with that looks like John Bon Jovi or whatever with the hat? That
Oh, that guy. That
I don't think that's a husband. I think that's...
that's
Who is that?
hair model.
Oh, she makes wigs. So there you go. It's a hair model, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
But he's wearing a hat.
How does he know you're not that big?
TV show.
Yeah.
Okay.
Google
Google. Oh my God. Do you Google yourself?
every day.
Like,
I mean, I have on occasion.
oh God.
Just to see what comes up.
Yeah.
Sometimes when I Google myself, which about, every week. No, just kidding. You pop up. It's like, really?
Yeah.
Joe is on my Google thing. I'll probably be on yours.
It's a gift that keeps giving now. A little Lake Country.
How about
I
that?
wonder if that's Brainerd.
Well, you would know.
I like Lake Country if it's Brainerd.
Yeah, okay.
Beautiful golf courses.
Got it.
If it's way up north, like in the Iron Range,
Uh-huh.
it might be a little too cold.
A little cold. They have golf up there? A little too cold for golf?
Yeah.